Good. All
It's all
right,
good.
cool. Well,
Yeah,
it's
it's all good.
great to meet you
Yeah,
because
great to
you're
meet
doing
you. Yeah.
great.
Um, so let me ask you this. Let me begin our conversation before we get into your life as the Spirit Led Millionaire by knowing, I mentioned COVID. 4 years
Yeah,
ago, we were getting our brains wrapped around this whole thing.
absolutely.
How did you survive that time period and how did it change you?
Wow, I'll tell you what, because we were online, it was our busiest time because everyone was at home. We had an online consulting and coaching business for mainly women, and we had a few good men, is what we called it. And they were at home searching, like, what can I do with my time? What can I learn? What can I do? And we just were so busy. So it wasn't really difficult for us. It was the best year that we had, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
So,
COVID didn't matter too.
yeah, I hear that a lot. I really hear the silver linings. Doesn't take away from the woe we all went through, but I think there was people that capitalized on it and just did things that made sense, that was successful and good for them.
Yes, exactly. And it was a real pivoting time in business because people, if you look today, here we are about 4 years later, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Um,
I think so.
do the math. But 4 years later, it was such a pivoting time because people had to do things differently. They had to learn how do I communicate and how do I get in relationship with people when there's no one out there face to face. So it really has changed our world, not necessarily in a bad way.
Right.
I'm not going to say it's negative. I mean, you can look at that conversation from both sides. You can say, oh, we're all isolated, we're all working from home. Or you can say, well, we're meeting and reaching a greater impact and a lot more people.
So on paper, you're the CEO of a coaching and training organization, business model. But
Yep.
if I was to put you in front of a bunch of third graders at career day and one of the curious kids looked up and said, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that child?
I know exactly how I would answer that. I would say, I help women make a lot of money.
There you go.
It's what I would do. Um, and that sounds kind of pious, Joe. I mean, really, but when I think about, I did not grow up wealthy. We were rednecks from East Tennessee, living on farm and barefoot most of the time. And then when the banking crisis happened in 2008, I lost everything I owned.
Yeah.
And so I was literally just drifting around homeless, single mom. My son was about 12 years old. And we just were not doing well. We were sleeping on the sofas of friends. And I just got this gut wrenching passion inside of me that said, if I ever get out of this, God, if I ever get out of this, because it is the Spirit Led Millionaire, it's not Karen led
Yeah.
millionaire. I had done that all my life and it didn't work out real well.
Yeah.
So, that spirit led part of it, I'll just tell you, I just got on my knees every day and said, what's one thing? What's one thing I can do today? And
Yeah.
I did it. And then it created, and I said, if I ever get out of this, this is that third grader, I make men and women a lot of money. Yeah.
So, so talk to me a little bit about your career path. How did all of this begin? The seeds of
Yeah.
being in training and coaching, because you're giving a lot of yourself to help others. How did
Yeah.
all of these seeds get planted and take root and evolve into you today?
Yeah, just seeing people struggle. I don't know. I just have this heart for, I don't like seeing people struggle. I really do have a heart for that. I started in real estate. My mother passed away and she left me $8,000. I went and got this clunker car and my real estate license because it was cheap. And I like, all right, I'll give it a try. And I started just doing things differently than all the other agents around me. And that what I was doing differently was listening to something other than what the trainers were training me on.
Yeah.
And I would do one thing every day. And you know, that was the beginning. People started asking me, like, what are you doing? What are you doing so differently that you're successful and we're not? And it's a downturn. Nobody was selling anything, nobody was buying anything. It was really a crisis in our country. And when people started asking me, I just started helping them. Like, well, do this, try that. What about this? And it wasn't until probably like 4 years later, I said, oh, wow, people are wanting this help. How can I help them? So we created the coaching and consulting company.
Yeah.
And I brought in 15 people to help me build that. I didn't build it alone, but I'll tell you, the first step out of the gate, we just went gangbusters. We just, I can't even say, except, in my world, we call it the favor of the Lord. I was from the South, and we're just like, oh, that's the favor of the Lord on you. And it really was in my world. So that's where it started. That's how it began. And it just ran, about 500 women a year. And like I said, a few good men. We always, men were like, you're letting us in. And I said, absolutely. If you want to come in,
Yeah.
absolutely. And they did amazing. Yeah.
So, so who's been kind of a consistent inspiration or hero for you?
You know, there's so many, but I'll tell you, I love anyone who has taken business to the next level, in just different ways, but taking business in an innovative way. I don't know Elon Musk, but he is an inspiration to me. That man takes risks every day. He does things different. I don't know that he would be my model of spirit-led business. However, he is. He's got that gut instinct. He takes risks. He goes after it. Obviously, Jesus Christ is my main model. I think that he was the best coach and consultant. He took 12 people and he said, I'm going to pour everything into you. I'm going to coach you. I'm going to teach you what to do in a different, he coached them in business. This is not a biblical interview, but let's
Right.
just, in the in the New Testament, he talks about money and stewardship 2000, I think it's like 2094 times. He only talks about salvation 214. Now, I'm not saying it's, less or more or greater or not, but let's just call it what it is, So he's quite the inspiration for me. Yeah.
So speaking of visionary business leaders, if you could meet one person on the planet right now that you find fascinating and spend time with them, who would it be?
Oh gosh. Wow, you should have told me this one before we got on here.
I would
I
guess Elon Musk.
Well, yeah, Elon Musk, absolutely Elon Musk. I guess I'm thinking of people from the past that have already,
Sure.
but you're talking about living. I would definitely say Elon Musk. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what is that motivation and drive for you? Because it's not just like you have a job. You're an entrepreneur, you're giving, you're helping, you're doing all these things, but you also have to evolve and grow as a person. What is that drive every day for you to do that?
Wow. It is me trying to stay out of, I built a business with me at the forefront in the past. And there is just nothing in me today that wants to do that. It is my drive is to really surrender and just say, who can I help? Who can I impact today? Who needs, because I see the tears. I see the people that are struggling, and I see the online hatred of or just suffering, I should say, people striving and the suffering, not being able to pay the bills, not being able to, they have ideas, they have these amazing entrepreneurial ideas, and they don't know how to get it out to the marketplace. That's what drives me every day. It's, I know what that's like to sit there and just cry and not know, like, you can't afford the spaghetti sauce in the jar. You have to buy the can on the bottom shelf for 99 cents. I know that world. And ramen noodle world where it's like, am I going to put onion in there today or celery? I mean, that's my big flavor mixture of the week. And your children looking at you going, how, what are we eating today? I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what drives me.
So you have to dispense good advice to your clients. I'm curious, what's the best advice that you've ever gotten?
Wow. It depends on what the outcome is. If you're looking, and what I mean by that is, for me personally, I am always striving personally to grow spiritually, emotionally, physically. It's not just all about business. So the best advice that I think that I've ever gotten is love God, serve people, and be spirit led.
Yeah,
And what that means is just listening and then following through. Some people that listen to this may not even believe in a God. That's fine.
sure.
But and there is something out there that loves us so much and wants us to prosper, wants us to be thriving, wants us to be happy, wants not stressed out. So when you put those together. Okay, let's put God in the God spot. And then there's serving others. I served myself for years and it didn't work out so well. I love being able, my goodness, my dog is having a fit back there.
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay, good. Um, you know, the best thing is serving others.
Yeah. Yeah.
That takes us out of the equation.
Yeah.
We release the outcome to what we're doing and saying, if I can just serve others. And the next question is, how do I do that to the best of my ability? What was I created for?
Yeah.
How was I created to serve others? For you,
So,
you're reaching and impacting thousands, millions, whatever, through what you do.
yeah.
You know, it's beautiful.
Well, so, and you're doing the same thing. And I'm curious, of all of the people that you've helped, the ripples that you've sent out into the world, what's one of your favorite client success stories?
Mm. One of my favorite client success stories was a woman out of Phoenix, Arizona. And she came into one of our programs. And I mean, it was just, she was not doing that well in business. She ended up doing $190,000 in 1 month just after I mean, that I just have to say, by just surrendering her own agenda, letting it lay down and saying, okay, I'm going to receive and just be open to what Karen's telling me and what the team is telling me. And she just went crazy. And yeah, her name is Heather. Yeah, she's my favorite. One
So,
of my favorite. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So of all of the things that you've done personally and professionally, what are you the proudest of?
You know, the proudest is making the Inc. 500 2 years in a row. Now, for somebody who doesn't know, the Inc. 500, they verify your taxes, they look at your bank accounts, they look at everything. This isn't just somebody saying, oh yeah, you've done great, let's slap this title on you. I mean, there was so much verification that went on, but that is just professionally, it was one of those wonderful things. The other thing is that we've helped over 2,000 women. I mean, really just dial in what they're looking to do, what they can do to serve others better. That's the
So,
other.
yeah. So let me ask you this. If you had a dream tonight and you ran into the 18-year-old version of you and you could give that younger version of you a piece of advice based
Oh,
on the wisdom that you've gained in your life,
yeah.
what advice would you impart on that young version of you?
Oh my goodness.
Uh,
You are not all that in a bag of chips, sister. You need to take yourself out of the center of your own world.
yeah.
I was just so self-absorbed at 18 and I wish it ended there. I mean, it lasted till I was about 40. So yeah. And so I would absolutely say you need to put others' needs above yours, not from like this role of I'm a mom, I'm a wife, all these things, and I need to put others first. It's like how, again, back to how can I serve others at the highest level to impact their lives in a greater way? Now, at 18, I didn't know,
Yeah.
but I would definitely say
Yeah.
pay attention and just ask, what is it that I can give people?
Would she
Yeah,
listen to you?
I think she would.
Okay, good.
That's a
Okay.
good question. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
she would. Yeah.
Okay. So we get off this call, time machine pulls up in front of your house. You can either go back in time and see one event in human history, or you can go in the future and see what's going on. Where are you going to go?
Mm, man, I'm going to go. Where am I going to go? I think I would love to go in the future. I
Okay.
would love to go in the future about 50 years
Yeah, that would be
and
mind-blowing.
see, wow, the
Yeah.
technology, what's changed. It's either going to be chaos or it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
A
Right.
little bit of both.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I think about my lifespan, being in the 70s and growing up in the 80s and what we've seen,
Yeah.
like even with this pandemic, like if this pandemic would have happened in the 80s and when we were younger, it's like there would be no connectivity. Everything would
Yeah.
have just been totally different. But technology has come so, so
Yeah.
far. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it came right on time.
Yeah.
Isn't that terrible? You don't want to say that, but yeah, because of the technology that had prepared us for it,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
able to, yeah, really keep living and keep connecting.
Yeah. It's like we turned into a Jetsons episode. It just all of a sudden happened. It's wild.
That's right. I love that. Yeah, I
So
love it.
everyone has a perception of you. You're driving this bus and helping a lot of people, family, friends, clients, but at the end of the day, you're in control. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Gosh, I am just the salt of the earth that grew up in a very humble family. And I have just, yesterday I was feeling so overwhelmed with gratitude of what I've been able to experience in my life that my family had never been able to experience.
Yeah.
They're all past now. It's, yeah, they're all gone. But I am just the salt of the earth, just barefoot still, every chance I get. Love being on the farm,
Yeah.
and yeah, just being out in the sunshine.
So as you bounce between these two very different worlds between Tennessee and California,
Yeah.
what do you like the best about when you're in California, and what do you miss about Tennessee when you're gone?
Oh gosh, I miss so much about Tennessee when I'm gone. Mainly just the nature, the waterfalls, the mountains. I am in East Tennessee, so it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You've got just the Appalachian Trail. You've got so many rolling hills and just nature, hiking and waterfalls and all of that. California is community for me. I have a really strong community in Northern California.
Yeah.
And I love that. So I miss that when I'm in East Tennessee. So that's kind of why I go back and forth between the two. Yeah.
So if anyone wants to hire you, learn more about you, reach out, get involved with your world, where's the best place to go?
Yeah, the best place to go is spiritledbusiness.org. And there you'll be able to just kind of see what we're doing, yeah, we have so many great things going on. Spirit-led business.
I love it. Karen, thank you so much. Thank you for your positivity, for the story, for your spirit. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. It's been a pleasure. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. See ya.
Bye.